So, can everybody hear us? You guys hopefully still remember how to tell me if you guys can hear me. So if you can, let me know in chat. I'm looking across all the 3 different channels.
We just got the first one. We just got the first. Handsome Carter.
All right, I will take
That was
it.
fast.
I will take it. You guys can hear us. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of our Founders Talks. This is the 17th session that we've done so far. So if you're new or if you haven't already, do the usual thing, like, share, subscribe. You guys know the drill. It's been a while since we've had one of these sessions. So we're sorry, but to make it up to you, if you guys are looking at the screen, some of you might have noticed that we have a very special guest with us today. You might not recognize him, but you've definitely seen his face, seen his name around on our various social media channels. But hey, I don't want to spoil your big intro, so over to you, man.
Hey, what's going on, guys? You guys probably know me as Hackage. Probably seen me involved in the project probably since the beginning. Probably started as a whale in the project, early investor, and then Umberto over the months convinced me and wore me down and convinced me to finally join the project. A little bit about myself. I've been a software developer for 20 plus years. I've worked on some big name MMOs, mostly focused around PvP, designing PvP battles, arenas, that type of stuff, ladders, and also balancing games. So Umberto recently convinced me, like I said a couple months ago, to come on board to join as the SVP of game development.
Convinced. It was like more stalking.
It was like every morning. He's like, "Come on." But yeah, I'm super excited to be on board. It's been a lot of fun the last few months, and I hope you guys will be excited by a lot of the progress we've made. We've got a great sort of roadmap set of updates and a bunch of good stuff on the horizon. I'm super excited about.
I just want to stand out and point it out that Brian already steals all the love from the people.
I know. I'm reading all of the chat, and everybody has just switched to like Handsome Brian. There was like maybe 2 comments on Handsome Carter, and then it's just like Handsome Brian everywhere. And
this will be my last appearance. Carter's gonna find me in an alley.
Yeah,
no, it's just because
later.
Remember that it's just because now people knows that Brian is the one that is actually leading the product development and the game development, so they're now trying to bribe him.
He does have all the power. He doesn't say it. He might not have mentioned it, but ever since coming on, he's done like an amazing job taking over everything. I now chat to Brian more than I chat to Umberto. So Umberto, we need to hang out more often. I feel sad. Let's just look through all of the comments. Drew Candy, in case you didn't notice, I too have an amazing hoodie, but it's cool if you like Umberto's one more. Umberto, anything else to add before we've got a jam-packed session today. So once we jump into it, we're going to jump into it.
Well, what can I say? 1 second, I just saw some things that I want to fix because I don't like how the Kryptomon were looking on top of us. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to just say that I'm very happy, first of all, to have Brian on board with us. Indeed, guys, since we started, Brian and joined the community, as he said, as one of our investors, and he's always there, start texting me and say, you should do this, you should do that, we should fix this. Have you ever thought about it? And at a certain point I said, man, instead of bothering me about all the things, would you mind would you mind just join us and things? And the guys, of course, he did the precious. So I had to really, kind of sending in flowers and jewelries and,
I need to be wine and dine, Umberto. You know how it is.
Exactly. I need to bring it outside for dinner, that kind of things. I had to fly till the US for it, but I'm very happy. I mean, as you said, Carter, since also Brian joined, we can see that how you, man, already kind of took the lead and make a lot of changes and, professionalized still how everything is going to work now in the entire product development. You're way better than me in do that. So I'm super proud and super happy to have you on board, because at the end of the day, what really makes a successful company is the people behind it. And no matter a lot of how cool is the idea, because for example, there is plenty of Kryptomon-like game out there. They are popping out every single month. But I will say that there's not a lot of teams that have, companies or projects that are a strong team like ours. And adding Brian to the team is already, for me, has been a very, very, very important step. And so I'm happy to have you here. So then, having said that, shall we then jump in on what do we have on the agenda today, Carter? What do we talk about? Unless the fact that you're more handsome than Brian and there's going to be this fight between the two of you, but...
Brian, you can't see the chat, but everybody is going handsome Brian, love Brian. It sucks. I feel
I have to like mute my Telegram and hide somehow.
Go check it later. But like I mentioned before, we've got a jam-packed session today. There's actually so much stuff that we wanted to cover because we haven't been on for so long that we've actually decided to split the session into 3 different sessions. Today, we're going to give you sort of like a brief overview of some of the things that we've been working on, but in the interest of time, we'll be deep diving into the specific details in separate sessions. But with all of that said, let's just jump right into it. Umberto, do you want to kick us off with the roadmap updates? A lot of people have been asking about it.
Yeah, so I think now everyone can see it. I think we, as I say, updated also the website on the roadmap on the website is almost updated. But indeed, as you may have seen, there has been a lot of changes in the roadmap. And the reason why we do this is because, of course, we do see, we sail and we build as we see. So at the end of the day, we saw a lot of feedback coming through the community and a lot of things happening into the market. And also, we saw what happening in the east of Europe and everything. And also on our side as a company, we're growing, we're scaling up the team and so on. So let's say that the entire roadmap is still evolving, because as we do change our resources and how the environment is changing, everything is it's following up on top of that, because at the end of the day, this is how we always worked. We always trying to be, and Brian is kind of also very lover of this, to be iterative on the entire process. But
and I like to have input from players, right? So we want the game to be enjoyable. Some of the best ideas I think we've had have come from the community. So you'll notice that I'm super active on Telegram and other places, just kind of get feedback on things, ideas, always willing to have conversations. So I think this is kind of a journey that we're going to take together. And obviously we'll kind of bring the best of all the ideas together and come up with something that's hopefully amazing.
So then, Brian, I mean, this is your kind of show, of course. Now this is your Beyonce moment, finally. So now we will start putting, music on the background, fireworks.
I need a theme song, guys. I'm gonna come up with one, and every time I start streaming, we're gonna have a theme song.
But I've actually talked with your wife. Sooner she will enter with the fireworks, something like this, and confetti, and that kind of things. But I'll let you. I mean, of course, now if you look at the roadmap that people can see on the screen, we can focus on Q2 and Q3, and the most important one, I think we can talk about a little bit more Q2 and what were the changes that people can already see. But man. I'll give you the stage.
Step in there. So when I came on board, I started to take an assessment of where we were at from a game development perspective and what the players were talking about, mostly online. And one of the biggest things that people were asking for was, when were we going to be mobile, right? So in the current state of the market, mobile games have the most exposure, most number of players. They have the deepest reach. And so when I came on board, we decided collectively that mobile was going to be sort of our top priority. As many of you have probably seen, we already have an alpha release that's in testing of our Android native app. And so we have a community of testers, a big shout out to the tester squad, who help with kind of the alpha releases and testing things before they get released. So they've been testing the alpha release of the Android client for probably a couple weeks. And to be honest, I only play on the Android release now. I don't play on the computer anymore. The graphics are way better. Everything is just cleaner and crisper. So things are progressing there. Our current plan is we're going to start the alpha for iOS next week. So we'll get some testing in on the iOS client with the goal of opening up an open beta at the end of this month, beginning of next. So mobile's right around the corner. So everyone who's doing your quests and you want to go for a walk, I don't know if you see pictures, but there's a community member that literally was walking his kid in a stroller playing Kryptomon and making sure he got his quest done. So that's the type of stuff we like to see, people enjoying the game. So our initial focus has really been on the mobile clients. So that's coming in short order. And then because of that, we've had to sort of push out the PVE release. So you'll probably see that it's slated for Q2. It'll end up hitting later in the quarter, so towards the end of Q2. And then PvP is still on the docket for the next quarter. That's actually my favorite, as you can imagine, since my background's in PvP. I'm competitive. I can't help it. So I expect all of you guys to come and try and take me down when we get online. And then obviously after that, the 3D Metaverse is sort of our next step. So that's sort of what our roadmap looks like at a super high level. But I think we guys wanted to dive into some of the details now, right?
Yeah, I don't know, Carter. Is there anything coming from the people? I think indeed everyone is getting super excited finally about the mobile coming. So as Brian said, guys, as Brian said, we are alpha testing now. Look, Brian is playing on his tablet.
Just showing off, at this point. Showing off.
It's Copernicus. He's rank 1, in case anyone wondered.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of comments on YouTube on all the different channels. Guys who are talking about on Facebook and YouTube with your questions initially on when mobile release, there's your answer. So I can see that you guys are really, really happy. Badman Finance, he is coming up with, Brian, you don't have communication, you don't chat, you just argue. So maybe take that away as feedback.
That's the whale group. Big shout out to Sam and Mitch and Meatbox. I figured they'd cause some problems.
There we go. They do say that they love Brian. But yeah, overall, it just seems that everybody's really excited about the mobile version. Obviously, the questions are now then when PVE. So we'll jump into that.
They got their thing. Let's move on next. Come on, guys, let's go. We got a jam-packed session. We got to get through all the spoilers.
Brian's dropped a lot of information already. We'll touch on that again, but in case you didn't notice his last sentence, maybe rewatch this later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
I think
let's. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Let's jump in then straight. Let's go into the juicy part because just to giving a kind of a heads up, guys. This is going to be the first out of a session of 3 AMA that we're going to have quite next one each other. I think we're going to already have the next one. It might be already planned for next weekend, maybe. But we're going to have like a big round of, a set of 3 AMA that will guide you through indeed more details about the PvE, and then the biggest one will be at the end that will drive you more into the metaverse, but we will talk a little bit at the end of it. So, but instead of before then going into the detail, let's give them a little bit of a glimpse how this PvE will looks like and it's gonna work, because at the end of the day, we have something to show because things are going on. We have a prototype somewhere.
Yep.
I'm personally very excited.
Do you want to show what do we want to show?
I think I'm gonna show the story mode. Let's start from the screen from the story, and then we can explain how everything works.
Yep.
Okay, so guys, what you can see, and then I'll let you, Brian, dive in. So the PvE, the entire objective also for the PvE that we want to bring, as always, we want to build a game, and not just in a grinding kind of thing. So we want to giving some sort of a single mode campaign, a single player campaign. And this is how the actual PvE will looks like. So it's not just you click a button and you randomly fight against, any kind of random NPC, but there's actually a story mode connected to it. And then I will let also Carter to introduce a little bit better. So for example, here, what people can see, I don't know, Brian, people are now seeing the story mode with the 4 chapter.
Yeah.
So this is how it's going to look like when you're going to start a PvE. You're going to have, different chapter with different quests and stages. But Brian, I'll let you actually explain this better.
So the idea here is that we wanted to have more of an immersive experience where you could actually learn about the Kryptomon Metaverse and how it became to be, and the initial sort of origin story as part of the gameplay. Everyone sort of loves a good story, and so the first one of the versions of PvE, and we'll touch on the second version. The main PvE component is called Story Challenge, and Story Challenge is basically a way for you to experience a number of different Kryptomon-based stories through and battle through them. It's a linear progression. You have a series of stories you finish in order. You'll be able to play one story a day. You have 24 hours to finish the content of the story before it resets. And there's a number of different things you have to do. You have to finish it a few times to collect items in order to move on to the next story. We'll have a number of stories at launch. The current plan is to have 6 stories at launch. But thankfully, one of the reasons Umberto brought me on board is I have some experience in building sort of scalable games, and so we've built a framework that allows us to add new stories and expand the game as we go with not a lot of development. So gives us a way for us to continue to tell the Kryptomon story and add more content in the future. And so the story challenges, I think we'll probably dig more into this next AMA, but each story is made up of 9 stages that you battle through sequentially that get harder and harder as you go. You have to finish them all in order to collect an item to get credit for the story completion, and there'll be rewards along the way, and maybe some K-Mon if you're lucky.
And one thing actually was a question, because indeed we started, I think that right now, finally the PvE, it will be, Carter, what do you think? It will be indeed the first time that we're going to combine and we'll finally bring the lore inside of the game, you know? And this is actually you and the lore team actually working together.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's been my favorite part so far is working with them. Carter and Cole and all the lore guys, like they really have great ideas, and the storyline is super interesting. So
would you like to spoil something, Carter, about it? Because there is a lot of things going on there.
Oh no, not at all. You guys are getting nothing from me about the storyline. This is my baby, and anybody listening, hopefully by now you know how important I believe a storyline and the lore of the world is for a game. Right? I could spend hours just talking about all of the stuff that the team and I have been working on. But I guess for now, just know that these story challenges are going to be sort of like your first peek and introduction into this world that we're creating. And you also remember that I enjoy puzzles. So have I hidden clues in these story challenges that might be useful in the future? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. It's hard to say. I guess the only way to know for sure is just to pay attention. So yeah, keep tracking all of the content that we put out. There's a lot of stuff that we're doing that we're thinking of at the moment, but this story challenge is your first chance to experience some of that. That's all I'm saying. Not going to say anymore. Otherwise, the team will kill me.
Actually, a couple of questions that I see. So, Brad, I see a couple of questions before if you want to move forward. But we have, first of all, will there be an option to change language?
Yeah. So one thing you will learn about the way that I run my development is I will build things first and then slowly start to tease them when I feel that they're ready for production and ready for prime time. I'm a big fan of players getting polished content, and I like things to go out and to be clean. There's a fair amount of stuff we're going to spoil today that no one had any idea about. And so one of those things is that we're adding localization to the game. So the game currently has a localization framework that we built in the last month or so. We've actually done translations in Chinese and Japanese. And so those are the first 2 languages that we'll support. Obviously, whatever, we'll talk to the community and figure out sort of what the key languages are based on where the bulk of the players are from. But the plan is that we will be working in the hopefully next release to get Japanese and Chinese language localization into the game. So it's a good step forward for us to be sort of this global community. And I know that people have been asking for a long time, ever since Quest Drop. It's super important in story challenges because obviously I don't want anyone to miss any of Carter's great work. So we're gonna make sure that we sort of support the various regions and get the language localization in that everyone is asking for.
Yeah.
And there's also another question here from Ryumon from YouTube. Hopefully we've got some time for this, but and we've already got somebody volunteering to translate in French. There we go.
Oh, nice.
But Ryumon asks, is it possible to get gold loot boxes from story mode? So I guess in a more general sense, like maybe a quick teaser. We'll touch on this more in separate AMAs, but what are the kind of prizes and what are the kind of rewards that we could get?
So we're still working through a lot of that stuff. That we have a reward system that allows us to change rewards pretty easily. So one of the things that we do is we go through and we balance the game as we go. So Umberto maybe sort of stole a little bit of a point earlier and let people know that we actually have a working prototype of the battle engine, and so we're actually in the process of balancing things, and we actually have our dev team playing against each other, which is quite interesting to watch. And basically, what we will do is the same thing with the rewards. So we have to go through a process of figuring out sort of what the right balance is for the game. But I suspect that there is no technical reason why we can't drop loot boxes. We'll see if they end up there.
Fair enough. And what I wanted to do as well is sort of bring up a couple of questions that I know people have been asking in Telegram, and in some of the other social media channels. So that there is, it's with all the changes that we've been making, some players are slightly worried about the fact that Kryptomon will eventually or is moving towards becoming a play to win game. And I just wanted to get both your thoughts on the matter, really. With
and I can't speak for Umberto, but historically, I have been a free-to-play player in every game I've ever played. And for those of you that don't know, I played World of Warcraft at a very high level, possibly professional matches. You might be able to find me potentially on YouTube in some places. But basically, I was free to play. I never purchased anything. I'm like, that's sort of who I am. It's grindy, but you have to sort of have that type of mentality. There will be opportunities, obviously, for people to pay and progress, and there are things that you're going to buy in game, but the goal is to kind of keep a balance. We're not sort of focused on being a play to win game. It's also important in the crypto space to understand that you are earning money to buy things now. So it's not like, so in a typical game, you'd have to spend money to buy premium currency, to buy items. In crypto games, you basically earn the currency that you need from playing. So in your weekly, you'll get Kamon for quest rewards, you get Kamon from PVE challenges, you get Kamon from PvP. You can use that to purchase items in game, which kind of takes away some of the pay to win aspect. But from our perspective, like, we're not going to ever drop something that you can only spend $1,000 on that can be used in PvP. There may be things that we drop that are exclusive that are used outside of competitive play, but the plan is not to have a pay to win game.
Yeah, no, exactly what Brian said is, at the end of the day, there's a couple of things that has to be, of course, taking in consideration. That is not only the fact that, of course, we're building up a game and that we want everyone to be happy, but also we as a company, we have a company and we need to, sustain the company at the end of the day. Carter needs his candy and the candies are expensive.
It is very important to me.
So otherwise, you guys, you're not gonna have any story mode. So at the end of the day, as a company, we need, of course, to make revenues out of it. And but at the end of the day, the mechanics of a free to play mode, and with the opportunity, of course, to buy, is because, of course, not all the players are, let's say, having the same amount of time they can invest with respect to other ones. And so at the end of the day, buying stuff, it's kind of a shortcut, to reduce, because I cannot invest my time. I cannot spending all my time to get the free rewards out there. So I would just, buy them out. But there is one thing that we always wanted to make sure, because I do also always play free to play, and I'm actually not a very big fan of a pay to win, because otherwise the entire concept of Kryptomon, which we really wanted to go into the esports, where if you are good as a trainer, then you're gonna win. So the entire also game design and the entire game battle, of course, it allows Carter to buy golden boxes, and speed up his process. But if Carter is not good, Carter is not good as a trainer, he will never win against Brian, because Brian is a better trainer playing in free to play. So
I can tell you that the game is more like chess than checkers. So the actual battle engine. So there's plenty of opportunity for skill to come into play, and obviously our goal from the beginning has been to balance the game. So if you noticed, we did a genome resampling and rebalancing. The reason for that was we wanted everyone to have their Kryptomon be able to play. So that's sort of our goal, is to create that free, open, competitive space that is fair, and I think that'll be fun for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, if we do look at, there's two comments that I just want to make sure here. Is the first one is about all the play to earn games. If you look outside of the market, especially Brian, you have been kind of even more active than me. If you look at most of them, or either they're just dead already or they're dying and so on, because at the end of the day they didn't create any sustainable economy. So they giving out, free rewards. I don't know, at the end of the day we're printing money. At a certain point you can't keep printing money at the end of the day. And so for us, having the mechanics, of course, where we do incentivize players, some of the players, if they really want to progress faster and blah blah blah, to buy, is because in this way we do earn and collect the money that we do pay out. So this is, we have the circular and a sustainable economy, and this is the first point.
And I think that's a super important point, is like, if you look at all of the big sort of play to earn games, most of them fizzle. Like Kryptomon was hot for like maybe 4 weeks and they blew up or whatever it was. And they, like, you see these games and they don't take into account long-term sustainability. And I think, Umberto, one of the things we had a conversation about, which is why I actually ended up coming on board, was you agreed that I wanted us to be a gaming company first. Like, I want to build a game that stands on its own. If you knew nothing about crypto, you didn't care about making money, you just wanted to play for fun, you could download our game and you could play it and you'd have fun and you'd be none the wiser. That's what we want to do. And I think that that's sort of where gaming and crypto need to meet, because right now it's a lot about quick money and things like that, but it's not sustainable at the end of the day. And so if you build a game that's fun to play, I'm going to sit there and play for hours until Umberto tells me to get back to work. And if you can make some money along the way, there's obviously opportunities, there's staking, there's all kinds of stuff that we add to the game. Our plan is to kind of use crypto as a way to enhance the game, right? So crypto isn't the focus of the game. Kryptomon at its core is going to be a game that's fun to play, that you want to play on its own for entertainment purposes. But we'll take the best parts of crypto, like NFTs and staking and things like that, and bring them to the gaming world. And I think that that's where you'll see gaming going in the next 3 to 5 years in general, across the board.
Yeah, completely. I mean, and this is, I mean, I can't say so much, but what I can say that, I've talked with a lot of people, into the gaming space in the last 3 to 4 months, and soon people will understand why. Spoiler, really eat that spoiler.
But a way to make it subtle.
No, this is a really eat that spoiler, but it's a spoiler. Who understood. There has been already some spoiler in some other talks, public speaking, but I'm not gonna say anything about it. But one thing that, what I got is indeed this one, that most of the companies and the gaming company, what people liked about us, and why also, like Brian, as he just said, that he's really, that we always been very focused, on building the game first, and that for us the blockchain and the crypto is just a tool, a way for a mean. I mean, that's the things for us is just because we not want to enable those mechanics that before wasn't possible. I just remember, Brian, when we were talking about about World of Warcraft, you say, imagine the usual user journey. I'm a 14 years old guy, teenager. I'm playing World of Warcraft. I'm spending hours of my entire life there. And I'm also spending money in a certain point. Either I do spend time or I do spend money, but one is equal the other. And then I need to go to the university in a certain point. I will start getting a job. I will start getting a baby and building up a family. I don't have time to play anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I will quit playing World of Warcraft. So then what happens? All that time, all that money, everything that I invested, all those years, poof, gone. And I'm not either capable to, to get anything out of it.
Yeah, you sell your character and they ban you and you never get to log in ever again.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Like, that was one of the biggest complaints back when I was involved in World of Warcraft, was that people just were like, how come I can't sell my character? How come I can't sell these items that I spent hours upon hours farming and things like that? And so, like, I think crypto is really sort of that sort of bridge between because at the end of the day, the players are the ones that add value to the gaming community, right? So they're the ones that are contributing socially, economically to the game. And so this gives them ownership of that. They own their NFTs. They can earn Kmon for actual money and things like that. And it just becomes, I think this is sort of the next phase from gaming in general.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, indeed, what I'm saying is, indeed, NFTs and crypto are here to stay. They're gonna completely revolutionize the gaming space. It's funny because remember, Carter, the very first AMA that it was August when we had the first AMA. We were mentioning that we were a play and earn and not a play to earn game.
Yep.
And now people in the industry are starting, to blasting play to earn, and they say, gaming company, they should go play and earn. And we were saying this since August, since the very beginning, when everyone was, hyping and jumping on board of play to earn. It's because at the end of the day, I mean, play to earn is not gonna be work. It's not gonna, at least, it's not gonna be sustainable for the long run. It's really, as Brian said, it's going to be, quick grabbing cash, boom, and then passing to the next one. But the way we're seeing it is indeed we want to build a real game. And so most of the mechanics that we are using is actually mechanics that everyone is playing every single day in other different games. The logic is the same, but we do enable new features and new opportunities thanks to the fact that we're using this. But let's go back to the topic because we kind of we can talk about it for hours.
Yep, and I think I got one more. I'll drop a spoiler right now. So we talked in the PVE modes about story challenge. So obviously that's a huge portion. That's sort of our main PVE mode, right? Prior to that, we had talked a lot, I think, in the community before about these mini games or sort of practice mode. So before PVE story challenge drops, we're going to be dropping practice mode, and practice mode will basically be something you can play as many times as you want in the day. When you pick your Kryptomon to play, you'll pick 1, 2, or 3 Kryptomon. So anyone who didn't know this, your team can be up to 3 Kryptomon. You need 1, 2, or 3 to play. And obviously, the more Kryptomon you play with, the harder the matches, the better rewards you'll get. But you'll basically be able to earn training tickets up to a daily cap for playing during practice mode. So it's kind of like a pre get ready for story challenge training. We're going to use it to obviously help balance the game, get your feedback as players, but that will end up being dropped before the story challenges. So you have an opportunity to play and experience some of the battle engine and game mechanics and spells before we drop the actual story challenge.
And you get tickets, which is kind of nice.
And tickets. I know everyone loves tickets, especially Toa and Pro Rookie. Like they're like, why can't we have more tickets? I'm like, all right, we'll give you more tickets.
So right. Shall we then? So we talked about the story mode, and Brian, this is a perfect tool because you just talked about the the practice mode. Shall we look at the one of the mock-up we have of how the battle will look like?
Sure. Yeah. Let's bring it up.
All right.
Ole. So now it should be visible. So now you guys, what you see is indeed how the just with the open closing parentheses, guys, this, as always, this is still work in progress. Remember that we like to share with you work in progress stuff. So if you have any feedbacks, drop it on Telegram, on Twitter, text to Carter, whoever. Drop us your feedbacks. This is still kind of a work in progress, but it can give you an idea of how it's gonna look like. We will talk in the detail in the next AMA, correct, Brian, about it. But do you want to say something
the next
AMA
we'll dig deep on like the stages stuff, how the game is balanced, and then talk a lot about the battle engine. The battle engine, to me, I'm super excited. We revamped it pretty heavily from the first sort of concepts. Like I said, it's more like chess than checkers, and there's a lot going on. And I think our goal was really to design something that was really focused and could be an esport potentially. So I'm excited about it. We'll definitely dig in deep. This screenshot is full of spoilers for anyone who's going to start posturizing and theorizing about what the heck these icons are and what all this means. You can learn a lot about the gameplay mechanics just from looking at the image, but I'm not going to spoil that just yet.
There was a question on YouTube. I think Cryptos has asked, but all about how story challenges are going to work, how battles are going to work. Look, we'll talk about. Well, I see your question. Don't think we haven't, but we'll address all of that in the interest of time in a separate session. So make sure you show up for the next one. But yeah, lots of stuff there.
Oh, so Brian, it keeps your secret then.
Oh yeah, we're not going into this yet. I'm gonna give people at least a good week to try and figure stuff out.
I will be actually quite interested to see what the community theorizes, because that is a whole host of new ideas that we could potentially draw from. So hey, throw us your best theories, throw us your best ideas. Who knows? You might see in one of the games.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So where are we going next? We still got tons of spoilers.
We have about 10 minutes left, guys. Cool. So given what we want to talk about, how about shall we just finish up with a little bit of Brian. Do you want to cover the sort of the next quarter, what we're going to do? So we've touched a lot on PVE. We've talked about how we're balancing things such that it's not a pay-to-win game. But do you want to quickly talk about PvP maybe?
Yeah, we can talk about PvP just at a high level. So we're in the process of finalizing designs on PvP, but PvP is like, that's my thing. It's going to be like my little baby. I'm super excited about it. Everyone talks so much trash on Telegram already. It's going to be amazing. Like the hate that's going to be flowing towards me. Like I think, has anyone seen? I think you guys have seen the meme of me as Thanos. Like that's like my favorite thing. Like I can't get over it. But for PvP, we're going to have two sort of game modes. For anyone who's played a typical MMO, we're going to have something that you'll be relatively familiar with, which is like battle leagues. So we're calling it battle leagues. It's a ladder system. So think of a bunch of different ranking levels of leagues, and you can progress from one to the other. So you'll play over a period of time, and if you win a bunch, you'll go up to the next league where the prizes are better. And if you lose the prizes, you'll go down to a lower league where prizes are worse. We're also going to use what's called an ELO system for player matching and ranking. So it comes from chess. It's a way for us to keep track of your win-loss in comparison to other players. And we'll probably be doing some seasonal rewards around that, and there'll be a leaderboard so you can see who's number one in the world in PvP.
He says that while smiling because he knows he's going to be on number one. Like, it's so unfair.
We'll see. I'm expecting some competition. We got some good trainers out there. I'm not going to lie. There's some smart people and some good teams that I've seen. And then the other piece that comes after that is tournaments, which is super cool. I've never seen anything done like this before in like the MMO space. Umberto, I think you said this kind of comes from like the Poker Stars concept. This one in particular, I'm super interested in. The idea is we'll have daily, weekly, monthly tournaments that'll be qualifiers up to the final world championship in your way as a trainer to come and hopefully come to the stadium and experience the first ever Kryptomon World Championships. But it's going to be a way for you to join 10 players, 20 players. Money goes into a pool and prizes get issued to the top people that place. I think it'll be fun. It'll be a way to kind of keep people engaged, and you'll have a lot to do. So that's on the roadmap for Q3. And then I think the last piece is the 3D Metaverse, but we'll cover that. That's a story for another day, I think.
A story for a far, far flown future, but maybe you get to see bits and pieces of it. Maybe soon.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Only if Carter allows us.
I'll see. I'll see how many handsome carders there are.
Exactly, guys. If you want to see us a quick spoiler of a 3D things to understand how we're working, and we have some 3D stuff going on, just feel the chat of handsome Carter. Show the love to Carter.
I think it's important to show people the fact that we've shown what we're working on at the moment. That the two sort of things that we're working in parallel. Maybe we want to show them something. Do you guys want to see it? Let me know in chat. But do you want
to wait and see what they say and cover the other one that we've got?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, why not? We've got 5 minutes left, so let's get
through this quick. So. Another thing that's been under wraps that no one has heard about is we are starting and are finishing up the design on our first ever in-game NFT contract. So right now, the only NFTs that are available in Kryptomon are your Kryptomon, but that's not going to be like that forever. So happy to announce that we have come up with a design that allows us to create tons of in-game items as NFTs. I've only seen bits and pieces of this done anywhere else, so it's hopefully going to be a great way for us to expand the Kryptomon space from a collectible perspective, from a marketplace perspective, and if I think we have our first sort of preview of what the first generation of them look like.
I forgot to pick them up.
Oh, do you have them covered?
I have them. Do I have them? No, I don't find them. Did you send it over to me? Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I got it. This is the beauty of being live, Let me open it. Let me open it. 1 second. What is it? I think it's this. Should be this one, yes. There you
Raw
go.
one, Umberto.
Okay. Boom. There you go, guys. So now people are actually indeed see the first set of NFT items. And just to
These
add
will
on
be
this, what Brian had said is really important. And here I want to make a very big kudos to Chris and the entire blockchain team, because they created a structure that would allows us at the beginning, us, maybe in the future allows you also, guys. It will allow also the players to create NFT items, and those NFT items, of course, can be used as a trainer or for the Kryptomon, and they will give power ups or debuff. It's gonna be part of the entire strategy. And also on this one, we have some other very interesting things that will come along the way, so to say. But Brian, would you like to pick it up a little bit about it?
Yeah, so these are the first generation of in-game power-ups. They're meant for our carrying and training phases. We'll probably not go too much in detail, but the general concept is they're going to improve the efficiency of your items and inventory, so they save you some money. And I can guarantee you, when battles come, you're going to want a few of them. They're I know which ones I'm going for.
So
Guys,
then,
the goal is to beat Brian, because if
yeah.
you beat Brian, you've beaten the guy who basically designed the game. So like,
And you win the game, right? There's
there's no higher level than that. Beat Brian.
So
we need
then,
the
well, we got a lot of Ansem Carter, but let me think one thing before, I think people deserve the spoil about the things. So let me give another small things, and then we can wrap it up, because we have 3 minutes left. So
Yep.
the first things is, guys, remember that next week we're going to have the new treasure hunt, for this month, and there's gonna be a surprise for all the participants of this treasure hunt, for the NFT owners, for those that are actually Kryptomon owners. During the next treasure hunt, there's gonna be a surprise, because if you remember, guys, actually next treasure hunt we will celebrating the first year since the Kryptomon, neither company, but the Kryptomon idea, so to say, was born. Because when I had the idea and everything, when I started writing down the first white paper, it was in April, and was mainly that period. So just a spoil, you don't want to miss. If you have a Kryptomon NFT or you don't have it, make sure to get one, because you don't want to miss the next treasure hunt. This is what just I'm gonna say for it.
Can guarantee it's good.
Yes. And I actually also want to answer another point that is a spoiler. I saw a question. There's going to be Kryptomon merch.
Yeah.
I was avoiding all of those questions because I didn't know the answer. But okay,
Well,
yeah.
the answer is coming. I mean, yes, we're going to have it. I'm not going to say when and how, but yeah, Kryptomon merch is on his way.
And there's some spoilers in there. We're not going to touch on it, but there's some good stuff related to the merch.
Yeah, exactly. There's a very good stuff related to that, and also to the NFT items. But we're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go
No,
there.
no.
Anyhow, Carter, you see that how I changed my way of giving spoilers. I'm just not giving directly the spoiler, but the small
I'm very proud of
breadcrumbs
you.
here and
I'm
there.
very proud of you. Guys, he's evolved from just telling you the spoilers to hinting that there is a spoiler. He's like, there is a spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you where it is. I'm very proud. This is 1 year of improvement. All right, let's see where I can get to him in about 5 years. We'll see. But yeah, we've got 1 minute left. There has been a couple of handsome Carters across all 3 different channels that we're streaming on. So I think we can show them. I think I will allow it this time.
Okay.
It's a really, really good one. So keep your eyes
It is a
peeled.
good one.
So just a reference, guys, what we're gonna show you now is, of course, how can we consider this, brother? It's kind of a work in progress prototype and first, I would say, mock-up of how the 3D style of the Kryptomon world looks like, right?
Yeah. So we've been exploring kind of the design and what we want the feel to be for the 3D world, and this is a prototype built by one of our first in-game designers. Our lead designer has come on board. Big shout out to Victor and his amazing work.
Amazing.
So the Kryptomon team is expanding, and we're starting to expand our in-game studio. And this is a sneak peek of the level of quality that you're going to get from our games. And I think you guys will be excited.
Okay, so
feedback.
let me share it,
Yeah.
and let me click play. There you can see. So this is, if you want to have an idea, this is indeed, I mean, kudos to Victor, because if I'm not wrong, Brian, he did this in a couple of days or something like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah. I mean, like he's a wizard. But this is the level of quality and style that we're going to be looking at for our 3D world.
it's amazing. And we still have, sooner we're gonna, now that Victor is finally jumping on board, and you will see more and more of this kind of piece and content dropped as soon as we have it.
Yeah.
But this is just to you guys to remember, we run the survey. If for those that remember that, when we started thinking about to go to 3D, we run the survey asking, okay, guys, which kind of style you like mostly, and so on. And just to give you a reference, I think we got something around 700 answers in a matter of 48 hours. So I love you all, because guys, you gave it so many content, so many feedbacks, and also so many references. And then we took a lot of time to pull everything out. And then based on what you asked and what you said, this is actually, let's say, the style to give you our references of what we're gonna look for, and it's super nice. I'm really looking forward to see this 3D taking place. It's gonna take time, guys. I wanted to be honest and transparent, because there's been kind of a conversation also I saw yesterday on the Telegram group. You need to develop faster. This is not Web 3. This is not Web 2. This is Web 3. This doesn't make any difference. Building a game is a tremendously expensive and time-consuming thing.
And we're building one of our goal is to build a AAA game to compete with everything else. So it's not going to be it's going to be a high level of quality, and it's going to be fun.
So I think if we had to wrap all of that up, if somebody's going to try and clip something, let me try and put everything into like 8 sentences. We're a game company first. Paid. All 3 of us are heavily paid. Free to play. Pay to win is not going to be a problem, or we will balance things out there. 3D is coming. It's going to take a while, but we want to make sure quality is there. I can't remember everything else. There's so much. You know what you guys do? Don't clip that. Just go back and find your own summary. But that is where we're going to cut it for today. There's more information coming up soon, because we talked about the other AMAs, but see you next time.
Ciao, guys. Bye.
See you guys.